There we
everybody.
go. There we go. We're live. We'll just wait for everybody to catch up. Are you going to do that singing bit at the beginning again?
Yeah. I like it when I do that. People like it when I do that.
Penny's Sunday singing.
Yeah. It's because we're live.
It's another week gone again.
Happy Mother's Day, everybody. Especially the mums.
Yes. Happy Mother's Day to my mum, who doesn't watch.
No support there at all. That's horrendous, but true.
So we'll get the page open and we'll wait for a few people to join us.
We have a couple of people joining us.
Excellent. We've got a couple of people in.
Woo. So this evening we're going to try really hard not to bicker, because we seem to do that.
We don't bicker, and it's all right. We don't.
You do?
We don't. We don't always agree on everything, but that's
Makes life interesting.
part and parcel of an opinion.
So,
If you haven't seen us before, I mean, this is our third one now.
yeah.
So thank you for those that have been with us from the beginning, all 3 weeks of it. Those that are just joining us for the first time, my name's Alistair. I'm a mediumistic life coach and specialist ASD respite person, sort of thing. Penny, do you want to introduce yourself?
No. Sitting really far away, you're kind of at the edge.
Okay, move it a bit.
Hello everybody, I'm Penny. I'm an empath, I'm a doula, I'm a Reiki master teacher, amongst many other
I
things.
weren't doing like a full CV.
That's all
brief.
I'm saying, just that.
Like my
Hello,
one-liner on
Anne-Marie.
Instagram.
Hello Anne-Marie, hi Vicky, hi Leah, hi Adele. I'm not going to say hello to everybody because we'll just be sitting here saying names,
Yeah.
and that would be weird. Okay.
So yeah, so the purpose of the Sunday share is for us to kind of talk about perhaps the things that spiritual stuff that has come up in our week, or if people have asked us things, or we've been anywhere, if we can go anywhere, that'd be nice.
That would be great.
So this week, Penny's going to do a bit on divination, and myself as well. And we don't know what next week's going to be. I've got a bit of an inkling of an idea I'd like to run past you all for something don't think I've seen as content online. There may have been, I'm not sure, but I'll let you know a little bit later what my idea is, and you can tell me what you think.
I really hope he lets me know.
I did let you know, and you said no.
Oh,
So that gives you an idea of what I'm thinking. Penny's already said, no, I don't like that
That's
idea.
not good. I clearly
So
wasn't even listening.
I think it'll be a good idea. Genuinely, I think it's a good idea.
Hi Marianne.
But I'll let you know in a bit.
Okay, so shall we be sensible and start?
We can do. Incidentally, I've had an espresso coffee, so...
He'll be flying around the room in a minute.
Yeah.
That'll be magical and unexpected. So, as promised last week, for those of you that heard me say it, and it'll be new for those that didn't, we're going to start off each of the shares with a particular topic that we're going to give you impart some of our knowledge about, and then open the floor to all you guys so that you can ask us questions or tell us stories, because this needs to be an interactive thing, not just us talking at you, because that would be boring, I'm sure. So today we're going to talk a little bit about divination, and there are loads of different kinds of divination. So I'm going to touch on some of them, but it would literally take the whole hour if I listed off all of them. So some of them I use, some of them Alistair uses, and some I don't like or believe in at all. So feel free, pop something in the comments if you've got any kind of information you want to impart to us or questions you want to ask. Hi Rose. So the first one that most people tend to engage with is astrology. So pretty much everybody will know what their star sign is. So I'm an
Pisces.
Aries. It's nearly my birthday. I'm just putting that out there.
I'm Pisces. It was my birthday last week. You all joined me.
It's gone. That's
was brilliant.
Past. Anywho, so astrology, I don't necessarily engage with that, although I have read the characteristics, and apparently I am a ram. I don't know. Anyway, so
I'm Pisces, so I'm just wishy-washy. It's fine.
a bit fishy.
Thanks.
So the second one, some of you might have seen before in movies, and it's augury. And augury is a form of divination by interpreting omens. And the way this is done, which isn't very pleasant, is by sacrificing an animal and cutting it open and taking out its innards and interpreting what messages are within those innards.
For whatever reasons, for legal reasons, we are not condoning this at all as any measure of communication with anything.
Yeah.
Do not do this.
We won't be sacrificing
No.
tonight. So you can look at
Facebook, pull the plug.
No, we don't
Walking with
condone
goats.
sacrifice.
No.
Yeah, so that could be with intestines, with any of the organs. There is a specific one, I can't remember the name of it, that is specifically focused on using the liver as a form of divination tool. So no, we don't do that.
Seems pretty grim. Can we have some nice ones next?
Okay, so for any of the fans of Game of Thrones, I don't know if I'm going to have to say that, Game of Thrones. There was a Red Woman, Red Witch, Red Woman.
Can't remember what
I
her
get
name was.
mixed up. I can't remember what her name is. I'm sure some of you will know. And she did Chiromancy, which is when you divine by looking in the flames of a fire and seeing what images come to you whilst looking in the flames, which is a bit weird. So that's all right. And then there's oh, this isn't a nice one either. Let's get the unpleasant ones out of the way. Then there's Chiromancy. Chiromancy is of sub-Saharan Africa, and it is around. The diviner has a bag or a basket, and within that are their divining tools. And what their divining tools are generally quite unpleasant things. So it can be things like a murdered small person's toe or part of their body.
It'll be a bag of whatever they think has
Teeth,
significant meaning to connect to
hair,
stuff.
but usually taken from that person in quite an aggressive, violent way. I don't know enough about it.
Not like when we just keep our kids' teeth and stuff.
No, that's just weird. Please don't keep them forever. That's just so yeah, that's quite unpleasant. And then we have sorry, Anne-Marie.
Yeah, I'm with
Move
you
on
on
now. Then we have Phrenology. Phrenology is reading the bumps in somebody's head, and all the dips and crevices that occur naturally.
There's no dippiness in my head.
There's quite a lot of air, which isn't a very good way of divining how somebody's going to turn out, what their future's going to be, mainly because if you've got a fairly accident-prone child, they're going to have more lumps and bumps than other people. I myself have a very lumpy head. Lord above knows what that would say I was going to turn out like. It's a worry. So I believe Victoria's oldest son
I'm sure those that
had a phrenologist brought in to see how his future would go, as to whether it would be appropriate for him to be in line for succession from for the throne, and they deemed that he was slow and not very bright, and wouldn't be a very good king, and it would appear from history that he wasn't a very good person, and he had quite the penchant for the ladies of the night, and was quite the embarrassment.
What's that got to do with the lumps and bumps on his head?
Because the phrenologist said this one's a bit weird, and actually it turned out he was, but I don't know if it was
Fair enough.
Anyway, then we have a neuromancy, which lots of us deal with, and that is the interpretation of dreams. And we all talk to people that we know and say things like, "Oh, I've had a really weird dream. Do you know what it means?" In fact, UK Haunted did their ghost box
Yes, they did.
about it on Wednesday.
If you watched it, you've seen me reveal a childhood dream, nightmare that I had.
Which is quite weird.
Yeah, it's quite weird. I shared it
It's
live
true.
on there.
So that is the interpretation of dreams. So we tend to lean on that one day to day.
I don't. I always forget mine.
Yeah. So
Maybe it's because of the traumatic childhood dreams.
maybe
Could be.
you've got lots of head bombs.
I don't
Who
know.
knows?
Next. What's next?
Next, we have crystal gazing. This is my lovely crystal ball. With the theory.
Penny has bigger
of-
crystal balls than me.
It's actually true. I'm not going to argue with that. And it is about looking within the crystal, spending time with the crystal, and seeing what images appear to us within it. It's not something I've spent lots of time on. It's actually something that I said last week I am going to make a concerted effort to have a go with, because I've had the crystal ball for quite a long time now. The next one is tea leaves, using tea leaves. I have had a go at this. I find it quite difficult. Usually with divination, you'll know which is the right path for you, because it will be the one that you are most comfortable with. When you have lots of issues learning how to do it, and feeling comfortable doing it fluidly, it generally means you're on the wrong path, and that's not the one for you.
If you're feeling a pull towards some of the darker ones, you need to call us and we'll have a chat.
Yeah. Please leave your pets alone. And
So, yeah,
other
tea
people's.
leaves.
So tea leaves, yeah, tea leaves is.
In the bag or out of the bag?
Oh, I'm seeing triangles, pyramid bags. It tends to be what shapes are left. You drink the tea, you pour out some tea, you turn it on a saucer and generally spin it, and then when you look inside where the tea leaves are placed within the cup, they will form pictures, and it's the interpretation of those pictures, which is how you get tea leaf reading. In the old days, lots and lots of people did tea leaf reading.
It's good.
It is good. And actually, my grandmother, my dad's mother, who was a medium, she read tea leaves too. So it's quite upsetting that I wasn't very comfortable with it. But I don't like tea, so. Then you have Chiromancy. Chiromancy is the one you tend to see in films as well, when somebody goes to see the fortune teller. Yeah. Chiromancy is palm reading. Hi. And dependent on where the lines of your hands are, will dictate certain information about you.
Do you want me to hold that? Hang on, I'll hold that. I feel like I heard people say, hold that a little bit closer so we could see. So you haven't got to quite Google it.
So you have a headline and a heart line. And
Managed to do that without dropping it on your
all
laptop
of
as
that,
well.
yeah, well done.
Yeah.
All of that is great unless you've had some kind of accident or damage to your hand, which absolutely will change whether you can see the lines clearly or not.
I've got a lot of lines on the back of my hand.
That's a drawing.
Sorry, carry on.
Idiot. So when somebody reads your palm, what they tend to do is read your dominant hand first, because that is the conscious part of your brain. So that is more your day-to-day, the things that you are in control of. And then when they read the other hand, that is more about the subconscious part of your brain and the things that you are less in control of.
So an ambidextrous person could kind of confuse
people
to
that
an
are
extent.
ambidextrous, truly ambidextrous, are really rare. If they can write with both hands, they generally will write neater with one or the other.
Fair enough.
There is a very slight difference, but they will know which is their dominant hand. So that's how.
The one that
probably-
argues with them the most, kind of like that. No. Okay.
Moving on.
I like that coffee. It's nice.
Oh.
I like that coffee we bought. It's good. It's good coffee.
Okay, so settle down. Yeah. Then we have scrying. Scrying can be done with a mirror. So generally you would have a candle in front of the mirror, turn off the lights so that there's minimal background things to see in the mirror, and you're basically no more coffee. See, well done, Anne-Marie. I agree. So basically, if somebody is going to come through to talk to you and give you information, you could do that through the mirror. And there is also you can buy a scrying bowl that you would put water in, generally moon water or rain water, and people can look in there and see what comes through to them in the same way as you would with a crystal ball. Okay, you can also do scrying with crystals. Next, we have runes. Would you be my? I was going to say stroker, but for those of you that don't know what a stroker is the person that used to be on the old-fashioned TV shows, and they'd say, "This is what you could win."
I think you guys can actually see them in the bottom of the screen.
Oh,
So they can make those out just.
excellent.
Do you want me to get them all
God,
out?
you know, if I knew you could see that bit, I'd have sucked my belly in a bit harder. Right, so these are runes. There's actually quite a lot of runes within the bag. And you've actually made some runes of late, or started making some runes.
So I've got some resin, and I've done some resin runes.
Put it a bit closer so they can see the indentation that you've got to now paint.
Yeah, I'm on set number 3 at the minute. We're still getting there.
We'll get there. So these are standard runes, and there's quite a lot of them, and each symbol has a meaning. And when you throw them, depending which ones are face up or which ones are near each other, is where you get the information from in a reading. I don't use these.
Neither do I.
But you can.
Could use them.
We actually have a few sets of runes, to be fair. The house is like a little magical mystery tour of occult and paranormal items. Okay, so these are my runes. If you've had the opportunity to go to our lovely YouTube channel, you will see that I've done a little video about my runes. So my runes are witches' runes. Witches' runes are, there are less of them, so there's only 8 symbols that you need to remember, and but the same thing applies as ordinary runes. So when you throw them, which ones are face up have a meaning, whether they're close to other ones can determine different meanings. So these are mine, if you can see them. So that's runes. My go-to tool of divination that I have used for, I'm going to say 15 years because I can't really count, is my dowsing rods. Whoop, nearly got you.
That's his eye out with them.
And my dowsing rods give me information. They could be an answer to a question, or they could indicate where I need to go. They were traditionally used for finding water. If there's anybody there that wants to move the rods, please do. No? Nobody's very chatty this evening. So when I use these, I use them to guide me towards, if I'm having difficulty pinpointing where energy is somewhere, I will use the rods, and generally they will cross if I'm going in the right direction, and they will pull apart if I'm not. Or I'll use them for clarification when I ask questions, such as something that needs a yes or a no answer. So if I can't hear somebody particularly clearly, I could say, are you a woman? And if it was a woman, they would cross. If it wasn't, then they wouldn't. There are different ones. I prefer mine. Mine are fixed rods, purely because I trust myself not to jiggle with them. But you can get different rods, like these, which have spinny barrels, which I don't like. I think you have much less, I'm going to say control, but I don't mean I control whether they cross or not. I mean, if I'm in an environment that's quite breezy or there's a lot going on, it doesn't take much to move them, which can be a bit of a nightmare and make them difficult to interpret. So I don't actually like these. But interestingly, on Friday, my lovely little granddaughter,
Yeah.
who is 3 this year, 4 this year, good God, she's 3 now, actually used my other set of rods, because I actually have 3 sets, because she felt very drawn to all of my Wiccan stuff, and she had a little go with the rods and was surprisingly very adept.
Yeah, she seemed to know what to do with them straight
Yeah,
away.
she seemed really super comfortable, so that was really cool. And then I gave her some bits and pieces and a lovely necklace that she selected, and then she said, I can go and do my own magic now. She will be mine. Sorry, that sounded really super dark.
Did a bit.
It's not meant to be. Okay, so I'm wondering if we need to refresh the page, because I don't know, people are just listening. So yeah, they're the rods. So for dowsing, in my case, for communication. So they're really good. We have, lovely Leah actually told me one today that I have kind of in the back of my mind heard of, and you definitely had, of overmancy. And overmancy is scrying with an egg. But apparently what you do is that you get the person to select a fresh egg and they carry it around with them, or they put it under their bed overnight, and then you put a hole in it and only get the egg white out. Then what do you do with the egg white? I've forgotten.
You put it in warm water, and
Put
then
the
as
egg
it
white in warm
cooks, you're
water.
looking for the shapes in the egg white. But that's only what we quickly. I'd heard that a while ago, and only I'd only kind of caught the bit to do with drawing out of sort of negative energy and using that egg as the
Yeah.
vessel to draw the energy out.
So that was a bit weird.
Yeah,
So
I've
overmancy.
seen it when I was learning about energy work.
So I don't
years
really
ago.
know about that. Then there's Osteomancy, which is another weird one, and it's where you use animal knuckles and you shake them and throw them as if you're throwing dice, and then where they fall and things, they are interpreted by the diviner. So I don't know. And lithomancy is where you do the same things, but you do it with stones. And it is about the diviner's interpretation of what it is. Before I do the last bit of mine, because then you're going to do a little bit, it is worth knowing that all of these kinds of divining are...
No more animal part stuff, animals stuff.
No, that's it. No more.
I'm
There'll
sorry.
be no more body bits, I promise. All of it depends on the person using their ability, their gift, their intuition to interpret what it is they're seeing. There has to be the tool and the ability working together. So that's just a bit of extra information. So the last one that I'm going to tell you about is cards. So I'm going to let Alistair go into more detail about these. So these are one of many of my cards. These are standard tarot. These are the ones that I like very much. These are the Celtic Wisdom Tarot, which I quite like. But you can use playing cards, which I didn't find out until after the fact, that my father did reading playing cards, and the only reason why I know that was because I had a little box of his after he died, and it had a pack of cards in, these cards actually, and a notepad that he had jotted down his reading. So yes, you can do readings with ordinary cards, but I didn't know you could do that.
I've done it. Just use the high value cards, Jack, Queen, King, Ace, and use those as your high arcana cards.
Okay.
So,
Excellent. So I'm going to pass over to Alistair now to tell you about his cards and what he can do.
yeah, mine is, and I've not worked with this very much, but have tried to. Penny touched on it earlier, the crystal side of things, like pendulums or doubt, sort of bits and bobs, and sort of talking to them and seeing if they swing or spin and things, but I've not done a great deal on that. My favourite is my tarot cards. That's the other reason, Anne-Marie, why I drink coffee. Because because of how my brain works, caffeine actually helps to balance me out more than a sedative would, if you get my logic. It allows me to bounce from one thought to the next easily because I'm buzzing on caffeine. But I prefer my tarot cards, and mine are Alistair Crowley cards. So I don't know if you know much about Alistair Crowley. He was adored by some, hated by many, revered by a few. Kind of a strange bloke, really. He set himself a set of life goals. He accomplished what he wanted to do, and that's fine. That's it. He did what he wanted to do. My main draw to these were they weren't feminine at the time. When I was looking for stuff, it's my biggest bugbear with a lot of the stuff in the spiritual stuff. It is a very feminine spiritual world. So Alistair Crowley cards were that little bit kind of darker, a bit more masculine. So at the time, I threw the power card out at me. So I used those. Plus, I'd used other cards, and I just didn't feel like there was enough detail in there. I like to question, and I like to think my cards understand that I'm questioning them respectfully, to sort of say, I need a bit more detail or elaborate on something for me. So they, in theory, in my own head, have their own life force. It's their own person, is my cards. So that's my tarot cards. And every day I shuffle them at my altar and pull a card for the day. It's sort of, right, what's my theme going to be for today?
Yeah.
So.
Excellent. So I'm just trying to tie a bow in my runes as I put them away. I'll just put them down. 'Cause that's
With
really
divination, though,
important.
and this is my opinion, that's all I can say, is divination's a bit like the mobile phone market. There's many different kinds, and it's entirely up to you which phone you choose.
Which network
Yeah.
works for you?
And I've had people buy me cards, and I've bought cards because I thought, I like them, and used them, and it's no, they just don't feel right, and something like that, so they just doesn't work for me. Maybe strong coffee, espresso coffee. So yeah, so it's what works for you.
Yeah.
As far as that side of things, the divination stuff.
Yeah.
So I've gone to circles and tried different things, and I've had palmistry done. You know, you go and see somebody in. Because you've never been Goose Fair.
No.
Has anybody on here ever been to Goose Fair in Nottingham? I know it's probably not been on for the last 2 years.
2 years. It was cancelled.
But it was really good. It was a good place to sort of meet other people's.
Oh, thanks, Leah.
What's that?
Leah loves the cards.
Oh yes, yeah. Traditionally, that's how tarot cards should be. You should always be gifted them, apparently. I didn't. I bought mine.
Yeah. Anywho, so that's the information that we have on divination. There's
What would you guys
loads.
like to know? What was the question that person put to us?
Oh, that's a very good point. Somebody
I
asked
can't
us
look
a
on my
question
phone 'cause
last
it's on
week.
there.
I will look. Sing and dance and entertain.
Dance monkey.
Doing interpretive dance while I research the question that we missed last week.
Yeah, so my analogy about divination and different mobile phones, I think tarot cards are like the iPhone. It's just the most common one.
Yeah. And different people read them different ways. And some people read them using a book.
That is true, because I've read tarot, I've read cards for other tarot readers, and they'll go, ooh, when they say a particular card, because in their deck it means something perhaps negative, whereas in my deck it probably doesn't. Or at least if it does, it's describing it differently. There's always been the stereotypes with tarots, like devil card, the tower card, the death card, the sun and the moon and things like that. Oh yeah, incidentally, the playing cards thing.
Yeah.
I did a playing card reading once at work when I worked at National Grid. So I was on a night shift and we were bored, and somebody sort of kind of called me out, I suppose, as a tarot reader. So I read his cards.
And what happened?
And I revealed something to do with his financial status that he was keeping secret. So I kind of called him out
Hope he's
in
not
the
watching.
end. So, well, I've been vague enough. So yeah, don't call me out. Get the cards out.
Sorry, it's quite far back.
I'm going to tell you what my idea is, while Penny's looking for that. Here's my idea, guys. Right, pin your ears back, because this might be a little bit creepy. So
Hi, Kirsty.
kind of want
Long time
honest
no see.
responses from you guys.
Yeah.
On YouTube, there's a number of unboxing videos and where people get stuff like product reviews and things like that. What if we had one where I've received a haunted object? They sell them on eBay. Apparently they're haunted objects.
Or maybe if any of you love
I'm saying objects. I was originally looking at dolls.
Who has an item that they aren't comfortable keeping in their home because of the potential of it containing energy. Not necessarily a doll. We've been through this. I don't like dolls.
But I'd like to do the whole process and do it live for you guys. So we order it, we know what it's coming with, we can see the certification that's there from other people in the spiritual world that have said that it contains some form of energy, and I've read there's a few different kinds with different explanations for particular haunted objects, and then unbox it live and see if there's anything there, see if anything arrives with it. What do you reckon?
Maybe.
Anne-Marie, will you do meditation? What do you want? You want to just sit just
In the summer when it's nice and we're all allowed to be together, absolutely, Anne-Marie, we will get on that.
Oh, we could do one of these from outside.
We can do a guided meditation.
Not from in the hot tub.
In the
that'd be
garden.
weird.
We've got a huge garden, but we can also live stream it.
Yeah. Good point.
So that all of you that aren't
Anyway,
nearby-
what do you think to my idea?
Tell him before the coffee runs out.
Live unboxing of a haunted doll or a haunted object. Or my other thought was, if somebody was to send me something, write down a little bit of the history of what the object has, sealed in an envelope, and then I'll open the object and have a look at it live, and then we'll open the envelope to see what came up. See if I was closed or not.
Or not. We'll do it separately, so you'll read it and then I will. I don't know if you just said that. My brain's kind of puzzled trying to find
There was somebody who asked us a
question
Good
last
question
week.
last
I'm not
week.
being rude, honestly. I'm trying to find the question.
was it about familiars and animals?
I can't remember.
Or was that Adele? I can't remember who asked us that question now.
I think that might have been Adele asked us a question about familiar spirit animals. I can't find it. So rubbish. Keep talking. Entertain people. Send us in some questions. What do you want to know about? Because we've actually talked quite a lot this evening, much longer than I intended, about divination.
Marion's not up for haunted stuff. I won't bring it round yours.
We won't send it to your house then. Although, if you get freaked out by it for any particular reason, that might be a reading. You might have an ability. Who knows? But we'll get there. It's just, we've been very busy and had lots and lots of messages. So, trying to track through them to find...
Yeah. I can't remember what the question was.
I'll get there. Send us in some questions, people, so we can answer your questions. So, we don't have to talk about divination. If you want to ask us questions about anything else, ask away. Whatever we can answer, we will. I know it was a man that sent the question.
I know.
Just got to find it.
Apologies for that. I don't think we're going to find it.
I am going to find it, but I'm going to find it when this is over, I think. If you, the lovely chap that posted a question last week and we said, brilliant question, we'll answer it next week. If you're watching this week, can you send us another message? Because we'd really like to interact with you. We maybe should have written it down.
Oh no, we definitely should have written it down.
That's a lesson learned. So any questions that come in after, we will write them down. Promise. Okay. Can you make your own runes out of stones of similar size? Yes, you absolutely can.
Traditionally, that's how runes were. You collected your own stones and you painted them or carved them or engraved them yourself. Which is, I said this to Penny earlier, just throwing this out there as an idea. When people were being mediums hundreds of years ago, they had certain objects that were available or to hand that perhaps would have been able to have a divine reason. So knuckle joints to an animal or something, because they didn't have cubes of wood. So it's kind of, it's less about what it's made of and more about the convenience of what it is. But they figured out ways of communicating with who they wanted to communicate with. Then person number 2 sees it and goes, oh, well, that works for them, I'll copy that. And it kind of made me think, sort of people copying the journey. You want the end destination to be the same. You want to have a spiritual connection or a medium awareness or that kind of thing. Focus on that bit and ask for the things that you need to be brought to you. More of a kind of as a guide request. So, as for instance, when I was looking for tarot cards, I sort of just asked. I didn't want to just go and buy the first deck of tarot cards I found. Mm-hmm. So it was a case of being drawn to them, and I knew when I'd found them, I'd get the right ones. So it's the same with anybody doing divination. If you're drawn to something particular, I mean, I'm drawn to crystals. It's just a lump of glass that's just, glass. I'm in Northamptonshire now.
We're educated here.
So no, I think these are awesome, and for meditation, they are really good. I can use them as a focal point for meditation. But it's what you're drawn to for your divination. Do either of you do Reiki?
Yes, we're both Reiki master teachers.
We are. That was something that had to be done. COVID, bored, needed to learn.
Actually, through our website, we do have Reiki 1, Reiki 1 and 2, and Reiki Master.
You could learn Reiki.
Teacher courses available that you can do online within your own time. There's no time limit on them, and you will be able to download a manual to go with it. Did I say they were courses? Or
Yeah.
did I just say what they...
It's the basis of Reiki. It's about sharing the knowledge. That's what Reiki is. It's open
and
to
your
everybody.
attunements can be received remotely, much the same as receiving distance healing. So there's a calendar within the training program that you can click and book when you want your attunements. So you can do Reiki 1, or you can do Reiki 1 and 2, or if you're feeling that you want to be a master and you're ready to teach other people, or you would like that opportunity, the Reiki 3 is 1, 2 and 3, all of them within that training course. And again, there's no time limit on that at all.
Full manual, help and support.
Absolutely. We're an email
Join the Reiki
away.
Massive.
We're an email away. I've found the string, but I can't find the message that goes with it. It won't let me look.
Never mind, it wasn't meant to be.
No. So yeah, I've been doing Reiki, giving Reiki for about 15 or so years. And lockdown has been quite mean in that I can't help people, I can't give them Reiki.
I love the way you put that.
no matter what.
It's been quite mean. It's not been quite mean, baby. It put our business on its arse.
It did, because a lot of what we do is in
It is
person.
completely on its arse.
Well, being there when people give birth is definitely an in-person thing.
It's been a pain for a lot of
Although
people.
I have done phone support, and
Yeah.
you can have video support as well, but the hospitals are starting to let second partners in now. So,
Well, it's
and I
still
did attend birth during the lockdown as sole birth partner. But yeah, it's been a bit mean, COVID, lockdown and all of that, innit?
Mm.
But there you go.
Reiki as well, just sort of elaborating on that a little bit. Reiki's basis is that universal energy side of things. When it comes to the psychometry that I do, that's about energy sort of things. Crystals is about energy. I am just an energy.
Conduit.
Yeah, I'm just drawn to it. I like to read it. It's something that I don't know. And
Okay.
People have energy as well.
So traditional hands-on healing, which I was actually doing well before I started doing Reiki, or trained to do Reiki, doesn't have a fixed system of what to do and how to do it. With Reiki, it's a specific belief system, and it's a process of how you open yourself up to be a conduit for the energy, for the universal life force to come through you, and how it works within your body to flow into that person that you're healing. And it is a specific set of guidelines that you follow, and a specific belief system. So that's the difference. But hands-on healing has happened for thousands and thousands of years, but there was no formal teachings behind it, whereas the Ishiri Reiki that we do has a formal teaching system, and a traceable lineage as well.
Awesome for animals as well.
It is awesome for animals. We used it a lot with Fays, didn't we?
Mm. Marion will know that. Reiki's been in the agility world for years.
Yeah.
People doing Reiki.
Fays used to love it. With animals, they will direct you to where they want the energy. In Faye's case, when he wanted it, he would come and sit near me and then push his chest into my hand, or he'd push against me, and then I'd put my hand down and he would push his chest against my hand, and then when he'd had enough, he would go quite limp and just lay on the floor and veg out for a little bit.
Anne-Marie. No.
Oh, night, Anne-Marie. Perhaps got an early morning with the kiddies. Yeah, so with Faze it was brilliant. Ned doesn't like it at all. Ned is way too bouncy.
Yeah.
I've tried to focus energy for him. He'll tolerate it for about a minute and a half, And then he doesn't really
Just
like
like charging
the
a battery.
sensation.
Phew, gone. There
Yeah,
we go.
maybe. He's, I'm like Amazon plug charging him.
Ah, fair enough.
I can't remember what the fast charge things.
Well, the wireless charging.
I don't know.
Right, we've got the last 10 minutes. What do we think?
Have we got more questions? Ask us
What topic should we have for next week?
Yeah, absolutely. I'm trying to think.
I don't know. We need some ideas.
We need some divine intervention. Tell us, what do you want to know about? Because again, we can pick the topics, we can talk at you about things, but it's not necessarily what's going to be interesting to you. So
Yeah, I don't know.
we need to know stuff. What kind of things are you interested in? Are you interested in healing? Are you interested in spirit work, communication? Are you interested in developing your own abilities? Quite a lot of people drawn to these kind of talks are. Are you interested in Wicca? Deities.
Oh,
Ooh,
that's one of my favourites.
That's a nice one, Leah. Very good.
Because there's loads. Not
Yes.
just one. Oh, that's a good. Yeah, we need a full hour. I need a full hour for that, just to myself,
You'll be in charge of that one then.
just to talk about the fact that possibly. Oh yeah, it touches on religion and everything. Deities does.
Right, you're very, very excited.
I am.
Take a breath.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, bit
Take a
excited.
breath.
That's a good one.
Okay, so that's lovely. So you're interested in the healing part of it. That's good to know.
Age has got nothing
It's
to do with
something
it.
that we can. Yeah, it's definitely something we can focus on.
Yeah.
Do a focus group on. And what I'd really like to do, but again, with Reiki, it is something that you'd have to do in person, is to do Reiki shares. Traditionally, when you'd been taught Reiki, you would then attend regular weekly or fortnightly Reiki shares, where you would go and spend time with the teacher and the other people that had been trained, and you would do group Reiki on each other. So you all pick a body part that you focus on, and it's super empowering.
That sounds like a lot of energy.
And but instead of whereas a Reiki session is about an hour long, an intense Reiki session, because one person is moving up and down the body. When you do a group session, it's over in about 10 minutes tops, because you do the opening up and then everybody focuses at the same time on one body part. So it's a really quick, fast charge of energy. So a Reiki share would be fabulous. So hopefully when we can open doors and spend time with people again. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe you've got a house that you'd
Fabulous.
like us to do. We could do a cleaning.
Cleansing.
Cleansing. Yeah, don't do cleaning.
No, I do miss going to people's houses and doing readings in their houses, of the house, and energy within it, and then
Just
doing
reading their mail, newspapers,
Stop
magazines.
it. Just their books and their letters, and then doing cleansings of the house to clear the energy. This lockdown has absolutely stopped all the fun things that we did ordinarily, which is sad but true. So, any other questions? Lovely, lovely people. Talk to us.
Or it's going to be deities next week.
Yeah. You say that like it's a bad thing.
Goddesses. No, it's
You
good.
clearly want to talk about it.
No, that'd be a good topic.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely, positively. And I'm intrigued what other people consider their deity that they worship or pray to or dedicate things to, that kind of thing. It has indeed, Marion. They'll get absolutely everything.
Yes,
Or
it has.
sucked all the fun out of life.
Not all of it. It just changed the world, that's all.
Just quite a lot of it. Yeah, so as a Wiccan, my belief system is very different to other people's as to who I would pray to. So everybody will have a different take on that, so that would be a better one for you lot to interact with us and not leave us to just talk at you. And you've obviously got all the Norse stuff going on.
Yes. Yeah, there's a lot of gods there, goddesses.
With very difficult to pronounce names.
Yeah, it's got the one with the hammer, the one without an eye.
Oh, well, we all know Thor. Good grief.
Yeah, no, we can talk about that. That'd be cool. Right, to wrap it up for the last sort of 5 minutes, we hope you're enjoying these. We're sort of on number 4. We have had a bit of feedback from somebody saying they're not keen on typing in the comments bit, which is cool. You need to just get a grip, just type, it's fine. It's a safe place, or as safe as we can get it. Failing that, just private messages if you've got a question or something that's a bit more personal. You're welcome to private messages. We can still cover the topic, but nobody would just know where it came from. That's just the easy bit.
Yeah, we don't have to say specifically.
Yeah, so we've started putting these videos as well onto the YouTube channel. Hopefully, once we kind of get things sorted, we'll move from Facebook possibly to YouTube, but we're not sure yet. I don't know yet.
Or a system that covers Facebook and YouTube, which we do have the facility to do.
Yeah.
We're quite Luddite-ish and dragging our feet.
It's not. We need a new webcam. That's what we need. We need a webcam, so we don't have to keep using my
Quite
phone.
poor, because we can't go out and do house cleansings.
The webcam's not
and
high on the
things.
list. It's not high on the list at the minute.
No, toilet paper and food are our priority. We'll get a camera at some point.
Yeah, so like I say, we're just hoping you guys can engage with it. You get a little bit of knowledge from us. We're not saying everything we say is 100% agreeable with everybody in the same, whether they're Wiccan and pagan. There's quite a lot of variations in everything to do, especially divination, tarot.
Yeah.
Anybody who considers themselves the master of something isn't. You never finish learning. There's no point of the end of the lesson. Life is the lesson. It just keeps going.
Yeah, absolutely.
So divination is how you want it to be. What works for you is the main crux of it. Oh, what was it?
Trigger objects.
Trigger objects. That was another one I was thinking of doing online as well.
Yeah.
We could set up live camera and just set it up as a trigger object in here with the Ouija board set up.
Spirit board, communication board. Lots of people are very upset by the word Ouija. It just means we and ya, which is yes, yes. There is nothing scary about it.
No.
At all. It is a communication board. It was originally a toy. Although I did say that last week about toys holding energy. Just saying. But trigger objects, I believe.
Everything can hold energy.
Just as a little wrap up in case Bri is watching. Trigger objects are good and not so good. I think they're if they're clean and they're new and they hold no energy and it's like a brand new teddy or a doll, a sharp or a ball. They are great for attracting energy that is within the building. The difficulty with using previously owned dolls or toys or trigger objects, whatever they may be, is that they already have energy attached to them, and it is quite likely that any movement that occurs with them, anything that communication that happens with them, is not necessarily linked at all to the environment, the building that they're in. It's the entity or energy that is connected directly to that object. So it muddies the water a little bit on communication. So depending what they are, I'm a fan and I'm not a fan in equal measure.
It's the use of a trigger object has to be thought through as well.
Yeah.
Whether people are putting sort of powdered lines to sort of show marks or movement, or if they're marking to see where the object is, to see if it's moved. You've got to cover everything just to make sure there's no shadow of a doubt that it's not somebody knocked the table, an underground vibration that's causing it. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Could be a number of things. So as long as you've ruled everything else out, like as a, for instance, I wouldn't use a feather as a trigger object. It would be something that's too influenceable.
Yeah.
Okay. So, and in the same respect, I wouldn't use a breeze block, because I wouldn't expect a spirit to be able to potentially move that. Or if they could, that would be cool.
That would be impressive. That
Yeah.
would definitely be a sign of communication.
So it needs to be something that a spirit can A, connect with, and B, can display something with it.
Yeah.
Whether it's movement or...
I'm sorry.
Oh, that's spooky. Siri always butts in.
I should think you are sorry.
Yeah. Right, guys, we're going to wrap it up. Hope you enjoyed it. We really do. If you did enjoy it, we need to do what everybody's doing now on YouTube. We've got to
Sorry,
get
the
rid
end
this.
of that was really super muddly, and the trigger object thing has no relation at all to anything we've talked about tonight.
No.
But we promised that we would answer his question about trigger objects. So again,
Yeah, they're good. You
If
just
you've
have
got
to...
any other questions, pop them in a message to us. You can do it through Facebook or through the website. We've got an email capacity in there that you can use. But also Instagram, find us on Instagram. But go and have a look at our website, go and have a look at our YouTube.
Like I said, we're 4 in now as well, guys, so anything you guys can do to share it, recommend it, when it comes up onto the YouTube channel, all that sort of liking and subscribing,
Subscribe and
that you
hit the bell
youngsters
for
know what to do,
notification.
you know.
Yeah.
All of that sort of stuff. It's a massive help to us. This is literally our shop front.
Yeah.
So we're kind of getting out there to meet you guys. So anything you guys can do to help would be massively appreciated. And I'm going to hit the finish button without getting too close to the camera.
Thank you for
Bye,
joining us.
guys.